Greetings, welcome everyone. Another video. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people may not give consideration to. And, the title of this video is Here's a Critical Mistake That People Make That Deal with Narcissists. Okay. A little ambiguous, but nonetheless, this is something that gets a lot of victims, gets a lot of people. And whether we want to accept it or see it that way or not, it is very relevant. A lot of times, people who have dealt with narcissists find themselves in a psychological shit show, right? From the ever-changing mood swings, unstable temperaments, psychobabble, and so forth. All right, and this is, later down the line, but what allows that narcissist to get in the door typically? What gives them that, that access? And most over a period of time, if they have managed to stick around long enough with the narcissist to be groomed, will begin to accept and adapt that way in which the narcissist operates, including their regiments and constant demands. Okay, so think about this. If you know, and if I ask anybody if they were to know or were able to see down the line into the future how this person was going to be, would they even stick around or give them a chance or time of day? And most of you undoubtedly would say no. You wouldn't deliberately, if you're in your right state of mind, put yourself in a position to have to go through such things that we all know narcissists produce, the carnage at least, and the heartache and the pain that narcissists produce once they've engaged with some of these individuals and they've become survivors from dealing with narcissists. Well, when a narcissist gets or acquires a new source of supply, they have to customize a character and behavior exclusive to that new source. What does this mean? Okay. And you've heard me say this before in certain videos, but the narcissist method of acquisition is designed to secure the new source through a set of protocols, right? And before they even set out to get a new source, they have to make themselves appealing from, what they truly are. And I've said this again, I said this before, the true sense of what the narcissist is, it's not that wounded, hurt little person who's just been victimized. The true identity of that narcissist is someone who is wicked, someone who is has a evil streak within them, right? Someone who likes to torment and hurt others. Okay, that is the true self. No narcissist can get a victim or a new source of supply being their true self. Just won't work. You would immediately turn and go the other way. They would never have a chance to harm people in such a way. Well, how do they get around this? One of the major methods of this is the process of strategic charming. The narcissist will charm the hell out of a new target that they are seeking to conquer, right? And charm works well on unsuspecting victims that do not know the type of individual that they're dealing with and are completely oblivious to this tactic. Most people accept it because, of the emotional comfort and effect that it has on them when someone is charming them. They're being nice and cordial and all this stuff. It's received as something delightful and courteous, right? So you don't really push it away. You accept it. You don't really try to fight against it. but it may also be used to seduce and disarm a person's intellectual defense mechanisms. And quite frequently, that's what it's used for by anyone who is a exploiter and a manipulator. So basically, it makes it easier to make entry without scrutiny into an unaware victim, into their lives. The more charm, the more fake that person potentially is. Okay? Again, charm gives clearance to a person's intellectual defense. In other words, their better judgment is clouded by the charm, is distorted by the charm that they are being mesmerized by, being drawn to. Okay? It's the charm. And people fall for the charm. If you fall for the charm, you'll fall for the scam, especially with new encounters. It's one thing to be considerate and polite, but charm is more proactive. Someone pursuing you and being charming and delightful. I mean, it's accepted because it's like in the mind, people want to be treated in a courteous way. But this is where I say it can be dangerous. And now let's give further consideration to the word charm and the origins of charm. The origins coming from a Latin word, carmen, which is song or verse or incantation, which was later revised, I guess the Old French word charm or charmer, which is magic. Okay? Incantation, a series of words said as a magic spell or so forth. And I can't even begin to tell you how many clients, especially the female ones and males, that have fallen for this charm out of the individual when they have met them. And I always ask, what interested you in the narcissist from the beginning? And a good majority would always reference in some way to how charming they were. And now we have to look at the fundamental basis behind charm. And it's illusion, it's duplicity, backed by a bunch of hidden agendas. Not all in, but in most cases, charm is used to manipulate and to control someone in some sort of way later down the line. Narcissists know exactly how much charm to administer, the right amount of charm and dosage to give to their victims at the right times to keep them mesmerized. Narcissist knows exactly how to do that because they were studying you from day one and saw and was able to look at how you responded from their charm in the very beginning of the interaction of dealing with them. So for a good portion, they knew, okay, when I do this, this person will react and respond this way. When I speak in this way, this person will react and respond in that way. When I do this kind gesture, this always gets them, okay? That gets them all the time. And so now, even when the narcissist makes individuals mad or whatnot, they know how to come around with the right gestures and types of things that would make a person accept them again. And see, a healthy relationship or interaction should be grounded in emotional truth, not from some fake polite patter or simpering sweetness, okay, that only appeals to the ego. It's just not good. And unhealthy flattery produces illusions in that person. It detaches them from being reasonable. about what's going on. And for a person to embrace everything that sounds good and is comfortable to accept for themselves emotionally is just the type of person that a narcissist salivates at the mouth for. Okay? And you know, I don't want to say again all, but I have to stand on this and say we buy into and we tend to not be as critical on people who appear to be delightful to us, who appear not to be a threat to us. A lot of people can't deal with bluntness and, being totally honest. They can't deal with that. And so herein lies where the narcissist has their niche in gaining the trust and support of people by being kind and not direct, charming. This is how they get in. This is something that most of victims who fall for them, they get seduced by the charm. And it can happen in many different ways. But the thing is, typically, anyone that approaches you, any new type of person, and they're just overly, seem like they're overly caring and nice and accommodating, friendly to a certain extreme, people can be cordial. But with the narcissist, it's almost kind of overdone. It's like really pouring it on. And this is the part where a lot of people, this can be tied to the love bombing stage, at least. It's pouring it on. It's really stroking the ego of the target. And unless a person has their ego in check and able to resist such things by scrutinizing and properly vetting the individuals that they come into contact with and being realistic about themselves, they'll be easy victims to a charmer, to a narcissist. And this will work well, and it will work all the time. Charmers are more often than not manipulators. That's how they get in. And just to conclude on this again, anyone who is rotten to the core inside means you know well that is eventually seeking to exploit, use, and abuse you has to be charming. They have to be. There's no other way to be. They cannot be their genuine selves and expect to acquire source after source after source. At the end of the day, they're all fake. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video. If you like, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Anyone who wants a one-on-one consultation can email me at asscdirect@gmail to get scheduling, or you could visit asscgroup.com. And if you want any of the products I have, I recommend anyone that's just starting to listen to me to get my my audio course, which is the Anti-Narcissist Awareness Training Academy e-course. There's tests in there, there's stuff to study, and it pretty much is comprehensive, goes over everything, the lingo, the jargon within the narcissistic community. Very good to start off with if you're new to understanding the narcissistic disorder. All of that will be left in the description box. I'll also leave a link in the comment section as well where you can gain easy access to it. Till then, till next time, everyone, love yourselves. I appreciate all of you for your support. Have a good one.